Good evening. This special edition of the Southern View as we mourn and stand in solidarity with the families of those who lost their lives in that dastardly, inhuman terror attack in Pahalgam yesterday. The top of the political leadership has sent out a strong and stern message that the perpetrators will not be spared. But the focus is on those who lost their loved ones, whether it was the wife, grieving widow of a young naval officer who was on a honeymoon, just married, or whether it was a retired SBI employee from Visakhapatnam. Not far from where we are standing, outside the Vidhan Sauda in Bengaluru, is the family and friends of Bharat Bhushan, 41-year-old who was shot right in front of his wife and his 3-year-old son, who was vacationing in Pahalgam. Family and friends who are still in a state of shock as they wait for the body to be brought back, which we expect later in the evening. Much like the family of Manjunath Rao from Shivamoga, who was shot right in front of his wife. Several poignant moments through the day. Let's first listen to the voice of those who lost their loved ones before we proceed further.
Well, the families are absolutely distraught, to say the least, because this has come as an absolute shocker. They didn't expect, because videos of celebration of family spending some time together, photographs, these were being circulated on social media, and all of a sudden a call comes in where they've said that this tragedy has occurred. People have lost their lives. From Shivamoga, a 47-year-old realtor, Manjunath, loses his life. He had gone there to celebrate with his son and his wife because he had done particularly well in his PUC exams that just gotten over. Here in Bengaluru, Bharat Bhushan, along with his wife and kid, had gone to enjoy themselves, spend time as a family. But here, tragedy struck once again. I'm with Prem, Prithvi and a few other friends, very close friends. They've spent almost all their life with Bharat. They recall him very fondly, and more importantly, this has come as an absolute shocker to them and the entire family. So if you tell us right now, when did you get to know of this news? How was it communicated? And more importantly, right now, how is the wife doing and how is the child doing?
See, we came to know at around 4:30, 4:45 yesterday in the afternoon. Preetham is actually a very good friend. Again, Preetham is the elder brother of Bhushan. So, Preetham was the first who got the information, and then he went really ballistic. He didn't know how to manage this bit of information, quite obviously, because it is his brother who's lost the life. So then he immediately called us, because we are all the support system for each other in our neighborhood. So, and then we all gathered here. With regards to the wife and the child, they are safe. Can't say that they are okay, obviously, but they are safe. And yesterday evening itself, I think Preetham's family that is Bhushan's family, had a good connect with some of the defense personnel. So they both were moved to one of the defense personnel's house for safety reasons. So that's what we can say.
It's come as a shocker, isn't it, for everybody? But right now, in the country, families like yourselves are hoping that such an incident does not occur. In life, you were just saying earlier that life has been lost and that doesn't come back. Now, what is that message that you want to send out to the government? What are you hoping from them?
Let's end this. A lot of innocent lives are being going. I'm not saying it's civilians, even our Jawans. Like, they don't deserve those deaths. They have hopes to come back, have celebrations with their families, and they blast a bus or they get into a camp and fire them. I mean, we should put an end to this. I think India has seen a lot of this. It's high time we pull our socks up and put an end to this. I think terrorism is definitely not an easy thing which can stop in a day or two, but we should end. Because I don't get back Bhushan for sure, nor any of the others who have lost their lives, nor the Jawans who have lost their lives. They don't come back. We should put an end to this.
Good afternoon. This is Deepak Bopana from NDTV. Firstly, my condolences to you, ma'am. Really unfortunate what has happened in Kashmir. Madam, I just wanted to have a word with you. I think representatives from Karnataka से सारे representatives आए हुए हैं वहाँ पर आपसे मिले हैं. अभी हमें पता लगा है कि आपकी बैंगलोर आने की भी सारी अरेंजमेंट्स की गई हैं. वहाँ पर क्या सिचुएशन है अभी बता सकते हैं मैम?
हम यहाँ पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर्स में हैं अब.
ओके.
और सबका बॉडी सही पर है.
ओके.
जो जिन जिन का फ्लाइट है वो भेज रहे हैं. मेरा फ्लाइट 6 बजे को बोले हैं शाम.
ओके ओके. आप अभी सब कंफर्टेबल है? आपको कुछ इंजरी हुआ था? आप कैसे हैं अभी?
मेरे और मेरे बच्चे को कुछ भी नहीं हुआ.
ओके ओके. अमित शाह जी बहुत सारे लीडर्स कश्मीर में आ चुके हैं. उन्होंने आपसे कुछ बात किया, कुछ अश्योरेंस दिया मैडम आपको?
मैं पीछे बैठी थी. उन्होंने अश्योरेंस, बहुत सारे लोग थे.
ओके.
मुझसे भी बात की.
ओके.
बात तो हुआ.
ओके मैडम, आप क्या मैसेज देना चाहते हैं देश को अभी फिलहाल, और क्या डिमांड करते हैं हमारे गवर्नमेंट से मैडम अभी फिलहाल?
सिक्योरिटी.
We came to know this information around 6:40 because there was no connectivity or signals at that place. And Mrs. Mowley, she spoke to me around 6:40. She said, Chandramouli is missing. They thought he missed it somewhere, and because of the late evening, he must have gone some other road. Everybody expected that he will be back in the morning. But unfortunately, around 1:40, we have come to know that he is no more, and local district administration authorities, they went around 1 o'clock to our people, and they asked them to come to the hospital to identify the various bodies, and they found Chandramouli.
Well, the pain and loss felt as much in Bengaluru as it's felt in the rest of India. I have a very special panel of Bengalurians here with me on location. Colonel KPM Das, retired, who has served several times in Kashmir during his time. Brinda Adige, social activist, who's spoken on several issues as well as this. Sanjay Sahai, former Additional Director General of Police, for his thoughts on what the consequences are. Saeed Asad Abbas, analyst, also with us here. But I also have my colleague Deepak Bupana, who's been speaking to the family of those of Bharat Bhushan as well as his friends, as you just saw, waiting for further updates. We also have with us Aishwarya Jain, my colleague, who is joining me from New Delhi. The Cabinet Committee on Security, remember, being chaired by the Prime Minister, underway at the moment. So before I get to the other guests, let me first go across to Aishwarya Jain. Aishwarya, give us a quick update of what you're hearing at the moment.
Well, it's been over an hour now when Prime Minister Narendra Modi started chairing this meeting of the CCS, where we can see in those pictures that have come out from the 7 Lok Kalyan Marg Prime Minister's residence, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Home Minister Amit Shah, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, NSA Ajit Doval, PK Mishra, TV Somanathan, and others including Shakti Kanta Das. All are present, apart from Finance Minister, of course, as she is on her way back to the country. But it is all important decisions that will be taken in this particular meeting. We have been told Home Minister Amit Shah, who had Jammu and Kashmir, had briefed the Prime Minister first, and later it was Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, because a separate meeting took place at his residence today afternoon with all the 3 service staffs. And from that particular meeting, what's the update? That was also briefed to the Prime Minister in the beginning. Remember, External Affairs Minister already briefed Prime Minister today at the Pahalgam Technical Air Base upon her arrival from the Saudi Arabia. So after this, there will be a consultations as to how to corner Pakistan, and whether be diplomatic on diplomatic front or military-wise, how India is going to act against the terrorists, something that the meeting will decide. The meeting is still underway, and this will go for long as being predicted.
Right. Thanks very much there, Aishwarya, for that update. Before I go across to my colleague Deepak Bupana, who's standing by live in just a bit, I just want to get first reactions from you, Colonel Das. Your first thoughts, and the way forward in terms of concerns and what you believe are the key indicators ahead.
Yeah, so a day of extreme sadness, thoughts with the families, no amount of words can address it. I think it is sinking in now. And as we speak, the national leadership, the security leadership, I understand, are going through scenarios that are, possibly could play. My sense is that it is going to be deliberate, it's going to be definite, and it's going to be taken one at a time. So I think there can't be a better time when you need a whole of nation approach. All options are on the table, and we are aware of the capacity that the national agencies have, and we expect as commoners, as laymen, that the government will rise to the task and address this one. This is possibly the biggest challenge in the past 30 years after the Chhattis Singh Pura incident. I was there at that time. I can recall what kind of shock it caused to the nation at that time, and this is possibly even worse. You have casualties from across India, from this very our state of Karnataka, deeply saddening. But I'm sure that the right things will be done, the right people are in charge, and we'll get to know more as we speak. I'd rather not speculate.
Right, you'd rather not speculate. That's an important point that you're making there, very crisp and concise. Let me go across to Deepak Bupana. Deepak, tell us, you've spoken to family members. We expect the bodies to be brought back by late evening today. Tell us what you're hearing in terms of the arrangements and the next 24 hours in terms of what the plans are.
Well, it's a very difficult time really for the family. First the news that came in yesterday, and now the wait for the mortal remains. But of course, there is a procedure that needs to be done. Also, the mortal remains are coming via Mumbai, which is arriving to Bengaluru. Then from as far as the mortal remains that is to be taken to Shimoga, that is departing only at 6 o'clock. So probably by the time Bharat Bhushan's mortal remains reaches his residence, it will be post around midnight. And as far as the mortal remains of Mr. Manjunath, that's expected to happen in the wee hours. Meanwhile, the Karnataka government has announced a compensation of 10 lakhs for the family of the kin. But at this point in time, it's not about the money, is it? Or it is for the families. They've lost a loved one. Most of them that I've been speaking to, they're only saying one thing. They're saying that such incidents should be prevented. I spoke to the wife of Manjunath. She said security is important. If people go out there, want to just spend some time with their family in an integral part of the country, they want to ensure that they return safely home. And that contrasting image of Pallavi, Manjunath's wife, where she was on that Shikara boat, the smile on her face, then that image of the tragedy that struck when her husband was shot dead, and those visuals just summed up the entire situation. And it is what has happened. A pall of gloom really has descended upon the entire country, just like the households of these two families. Overall, 3 deaths here of tourists from Karnataka. About 60 of them still stranded there. Santosh Lad, the Minister for Labour, has been in Kashmir from as early as 5 this morning. He's been coordinating efforts to bring back tourists who are stranded. A special flight is being arranged for that as well.
Right. Thanks very much, Deepak. We'll keep a close track of that. Our thoughts, as you rightly mentioned, with the families as we stand in solidarity with them, as the rest of the country. Sanjay Sahai, really, the brutality of it is that these are innocent people who've been shot right in front of their wives, their kids, even babies, like is the case of Bharat Bhushan, just a 3-year-old son, shot at point blank range.
The level of the tragedy is still to sink in me. And my heart goes out to all the victims, and I am one of the mourners of these 140 crore people. What is extremely important is that this is the biggest attack on civilians, the biggest terror attack on civilians since 26/11. So it has literally shaken, besides all of us, it has literally shaken the body politic of this nation. The body politic which controls literally every movement, every feedback and every response, and that is what we are saying from the Honorable Prime Minister to lesser functionaries of the government and the current meeting which was going on there. There are 3 very, very important things with regards to this. So first is the timing of this particular attack. I think timing coincides with the Vice President of US visiting India, though it is a private visit or a personal visit. I think still it has huge impact given the backdrop of India-US relations and variety of things happening in the US. So it's primarily a message to India and might be tangentially to the US also, that Pakistan is still in control of the factories of terror and can strike on this nation at will. Rana has just been back through the extradition process. So I'm for sure it has certainly made an impact as far as the Indo-Pak relations and the way Pakistan is viewing itself, whether they are in control or they are not in control. Second is the location part of it. I think this location is selected in a very strategic, in a militaristic sort of a manner, where it's very difficult for anybody to reach there with reinforcements, whereas the terrorists can move out at ease. So that made this whole attack much simpler for them. And with this religion profiling, it has added a very new, a very pernicious dimension to the way terror is being practiced by Pakistan in this country. The whole thing was going down, as all of us know, the whole thing was going down. So this is basically Pakistan proclaiming to the world they are in control of terror as far as India is concerned, and they can strike at will. The last point is regarding the target. The target are the tourists from I think 6, 7, 8 states, which they would not be aware of. But they knew that they are targeting tourists from all across the country, and this is mini Switzerland, and this will have a nature of an impact which we are seeing it. So they have been successful in their own way. The response of the Indian state, both militarily and diplomatic and variety of other moves, I think the country is watching.
Absolutely. That's what's being discussed perhaps, and obviously there's several inputs that's there. But the human cost of it, Brinda, for somebody who's a civilian, who's not accustomed to it, the fact that one thought that, you could go to Kashmir and you could enjoy, which is, it is a place of paradise for most of us in terms of our dreams. For those who have not gone, it shakes that up. And that's really the real sad part in terms of the human cost.
Absolutely. The saddest part is that people from South India or from Western India who do not have too much of an experience or concept of terror except what we watch on TV. And like you mentioned, Kashmir is paradise. And you're thinking of snow and skiing and all of it. And it is a lifetime's, chance ke I can go all the way there and enjoy everything that I see on TV and I've heard from people. And if something like this has happened over there to civilians, and they have very smartly, very cleverly, mischievously targeted people also. So which means they seem to have had information that these are from South India or they are from Western India. That said, I think we must place on record that the preparedness by our government has not been enough. And that security by NIA and the others is lacking. That said, now the South Indians, I don't know about the Western Indians, but the South Indians will be scared to go anywhere near Kashmir because it is, like you said, paradise. It's a fantasy place and it is the topmost on tourists for people from South India. And that is one thing now that we are going to abhor. We will not think of it.
It's in many ways a dream that's shattered.
A dream shattered, but it is also a lot of fear. A fear that nothing much has changed.
That's right. Syed, quick response. What are your first thoughts, very briefly?
I'm truly heartbroken with everything that has taken place, deeply shocked, because I have 2 infant children at my place and I couldn't imagine. It's been a lifelong dream of my respective mother to visit Kashmir once, but as a son, with what heart will I take her? I think this is unfortunate. It's not only the 28 people who have lost their lives. Pahalgam is a tourist place. Many of the people there, the taxi drivers, the 2 guides have all lost livelihood there. When Kashmir was limping back to normalcy, reality, development, this is absolutely devastating. To me, as an Indian, I am broken, I am hurt. But the fact of the matter is, the only religion of a terrorist is terrorism. It is Pakistan's ISI's divisive agenda. I think the United Nations needs to intervene here. The world leaders like US, Russia, China, everybody needs to raise a voice on this. And terrorism must only be dealt with iron hands. The fact is, Pakistan wants to divide us Indians, but remember, na Hindu bura hai, na Musalman bura hai. Jo karta burai, wo insan bura hai. The only religion of a terrorist is terrorism, and we must unequivocally, unconditionally condemn and show the world that we Indians are united in this. It pains us like it is our own. And what has died here, not Hindu, not Muslim, humanity has died. And that tears us apart.
Absolutely. Very, very important words from you there, Syed. Colonel Das, from a serviceman, from a person who served in Kashmir, to the civilian population, which has taken the brunt of this attack. Several times servicemen have been the victims, but today it's civilians out there. What would your message be to the average Bengalurian or a Hyderabadi or anyone outside? Should we all decide that we should still continue to keep going to Kashmir and not be scared?
Absolutely. I mean, so we are talking of resilience here. This is a country of 140 crore people, right? And we, to my mind, national security agencies, in its own time, at a place of its own choosing, is going to respond. And that patience is something that we expect out of the population. This is going to be addressed, and it's going to be addressed very differently this time around. I would expect, and I would, even ask ma'am to reconsider. I think the show must go on, right? And if Kashmir is part of mainstream India, everything, all functions of the state, all functions of civil society have to continue as it was always before. I think that would be a fitting response instead of going knee-jerk, reactive kind of thing. And my sense is we are in good hands. There are agencies which will take care of it. And this time the pain that will be afflicted is going to be more enduring and it's going to sustain. That's my belief.
That's as far as the military response, or you're talking of the diplomatic response to it. But, there is also an effort to ensure, send a message of strength to civilians to not let the scar turn into a wound in some sense.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think one of the areas where our agencies need to step up is in the cognitive domain, is in the information warfare domain. I think we have been found wanting. So this messaging to people, every nook and corner of India, every citizen of India, and to sustain a message which is positive, yet send strong signals, to the adversaries, west and east, both. Yeah, that's important.
10 seconds each. Sanjay Sahai, your final thoughts.
See, first and foremost, it should be a very well-calibrated attack, both on the military point of view and diplomatic point of view. And for next 6 months, there should not be any major terror attack, so that we get back to where the Kashmir economy was. Bringing Kashmir's economy on the rails is very, very critical.
Important point that. Last 10 seconds.
Once a Sufi saint was asked, like we said before, where is Jannat, where is paradise? He said it 3 times, Kashmir, Kashmir, Kashmir. I think it's incumbent upon each Indian today to bring that back with a lot of favor. And let us tell the world that this will be a shining example that you cannot break India. सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा, हम बुलबुले हैं इसके, ये गुलसिता हमारा.
Fascinating words there.
I agree with everybody. The show must go on. The narratives must change. It is not to be continuously harped upon as a Muslim-Hindu fight or hatred. We have to talk about us as Indians, and we want also the government to be accountable to the people of India.
Thanks very much there to all 4 of you for joining me here. We'll keep our focus as we still stand in mourning in support with the families of those who've lost their near and dear one. But that's all we have time for on the show. News and updates continue right here on NDTV. Thanks for watching.